For Wally Got Wasted, how did you post casting notices? Was it on the major sites or?
Before I even get into that, there was one thing I forgot to say earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was talking earlier about my, believing in yourself and all that kind of stuff. My dad was very much a believer in telling me I can do anything that I want to do in life. And actually, he wrote a book, and he has a child's book that's for sale. It's called A Little Bedtime Journey. And I think you can go to littlebedtimejourney.com to get the book. But it's an empowering hypnotherapist book for children, actually, where you like count down from 10 and it really makes them believe in themselves. And he used to actually read that book to me all the time when I was a child. Aww. So just to plug that for him.
Nice.
And he's such a, everything that I am is because of him and my mother, for supporting me. But so I had to plug that. But also the casting process for Wally Got Wasted. So I ended up casting the whole movie myself. We talked to more than one casting director actually, and we had these big casting directors that were gonna help cast the movie, and they loved the script. They casted Blackish, the TV show, and a whole bunch of other TV shows they casted, and they loved the script, it's always nice to hear people in the industry high up go, hey, who wrote this script? It's so good, That was great to hear. But ultimately, their agent talked them out of doing it. So the casting director's agent, like, who are they? No, they're nobody special, So we ended up losing them eventually because they had to focus on casting shows and making more money than we were going to pay them. So then we ended up getting a casting director out of New York and had her go after names. Ultimately, you haven't made a feature yet, meaning me, I haven't made a feature yet. You're nobody special. So names, you got to wow them with money. We didn't have money. So they probably didn't even read the script. So I just like, oh, please read the script, you'll love it. They probably never did. So ultimately I ended up casting the whole movie luckily I've been here long enough that I asked like the producers on Orange is the New Black, this producer here, this director there, hey, can you suggest people? And I'd give them the breakdown and they'd send over 10, 20 people in an email, nice enough to send over 10, 20 people of who they thought would be good for the role. And I did that, and I had asked acting schools and searched high and low and had every single person do video auditions. And so it was interesting because I didn't do in-person ones, I would do the video ones. And then maybe they auditioned and they did decent, but they didn't do that great. Or did what I want, so then I'd call them and coach them on how to do it better and then let them do it again. And so that's how pretty much it took place. But Patrick, our lead, Patrick Cavanaugh, I saw him in a play that Alex Soul, a common friend of ours, put on. And I saw him do a play like 6, 7 years before we even shot Wally.
Oh, wow.
And I just never forgot him. He was just very talented in the play. And he had a likability that I knew was very charming, and I thought very Michael J. Fox-ish. Now I don't know that he's that in the film because we have him playing such a neurotic, but he has that quality. He has a very likable quality. And so I wanted him to do it, but then we were going after names, and he was like, okay. And I kept telling him, please audition, do an audition tape for me. And he said he would, but he never got around to it. And then I auditioned like 30, 40 people, and then eventually he did it, and he nailed it. And then we didn't, it was no question after his tape that this was the guy that needed to do the part. And I think Patrick did such a great job in the movie. I'm really proud of his performance. And then he's the lead of the movie, and I'm his counterpart. And then the third lead is Aaron Groban, who plays Jerry in the movie. And he's very much the iconic stoner character that's not that smart and constantly doing the wrong things. At one point we finally get rid of the body and he left his wallet in the pocket, you know what I mean? So there's like all these kinds of things. And why'd you leave the wallet in the pocket? Oh, I don't like my wallet in my pocket. It gets all cringy, like just stupid stuff happened with him. And that's very much a character that's iconic in history. I mean, Jack Black played it in Orange County, and Sean Penn played it in, what's that high school movie, Ridgemont High?
Fast
Times at
Cameron
Ridgemont.
Crowe,
Yeah. And so Aaron did a great job. And actually, Aaron did like a commercial for Seth, my partner, when he was working for a company. But Aaron acts in everything he possibly can. He's just a working actor, and he doesn't care what it is, and he'll just go and he'll act. And so he had worked with him in not even like a real acting job. It was like talking to the camera, I believe. And he's like, well, I know this guy, he might work. And he had a big beard at the time. And I mean, he did an audition tape. there was moments where I saw that it could work, and so we found him eventually too. And it was so hard to find that role. It was the hardest, probably one of the hardest roles for me to cast, because people acting stoned is it's just a very hard thing for people to do. Like everybody, I believe they're acting. I don't believe they're really that person. And so you got to find that person that you believe they're not that smart, or you believe that they're perma high, basically. So that was a hard thing to do, but he did. I think he did a great job. Some people, I find that people either love or they hate him. They're either talking about how great he did, or they're like, I didn't really believe that. So it's very much a love or hate role, but that's any role in history, so it's okay. Alyssa, our leading lady, that was hard to find too, because I was trying to find somebody who had that kind of Cameron Diaz in The Mask quality, or Dumb and Dumber quality, that was very much laughy and fun and never took anybody too serious. And it was really hard to find actresses to do that, because the lines they would always read, and it came off either a little bitchy or a little snobby or a little something that I just didn't like. And Lissa actually lives in Nashville. She doesn't live in LA. And somebody suggested her for the movie, and then I reached out to her and I was like, hey, would you audition for the movie? She said, yeah, but I live in Nashville. You'd have to fly me out for the movie. And so I was like, oh gosh, man, we don't have the budget for that. And I was like, fine, you know what, you can just read for it. You know, do make an audition tape. And I'm thinking, she'll probably bomb it, and then we don't have to talk about the details later. And of course, she did the audition tape, and she absolutely killed it. And then I was like, ah, shucks, all right, well, I found my Lucy. So we ended up flying her out to do the part and stuff. And then we had a lot of luck too with some amazing actors. Alex Soul, who was in American History X, and he's in all kinds of movies back in the day. He came out of retirement for the movie and acted in the movie. He kicks ass in a very iconic Russian roulette scene that people seem to love. Larry Hankin came out for the movie, and he's an icon in my opinion, and how many great movies he's done, from Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood, you know. I mean, he's been around so long and he acts in so many things. I managed to get him in the movie, and he did a great job. We had Sally Kirkland in the movie, who won, she's won a Golden Globe. She's got nominated for Academy Award. She came out and acted for us. So I was just really lucky with my cast, and I'm sure I'm forgetting people that were phenomenal in the cast as well. But I was just really lucky that I found the right people for the roles that we did. And I pride myself on having good actors in the movie, because we have to discover talent, you know, because we don't have enough money to get a name or somebody who's well known. So I literally had to find people that were undervalued on both sides, in front of the camera and behind the camera. You have to find people that are undervalued for their skill at this moment in this time, because all the same people I probably couldn't afford to hire now, a couple years later, because now they are getting paid more to do behind the camera work and in front of the camera work. So.